The Gulf of Mexico, a vast expanse of blue, shimmered under the warm April sun. The year was 2010. It seemed like a typical day for the workers aboard the Deepwater Horizon oil rig. The massive structure, a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition, stood tall against the horizon. It was a marvel of engineering, designed to extract oil from deep beneath the ocean floor. Unbeknownst to those on board, a disaster was brewing. A silent threat lurked beneath the surface, one that would soon turn this serene scene into a nightmare. The Deepwater Horizon was a technological marvel, but it operated in a high-risk environment. Drilling for oil in ultra-deep waters came with inherent dangers, demanding the utmost caution and meticulous safety protocols. Sadly, as we would soon learn, these precautions were tragically ignored. The stage was set for one of the worst environmental disasters in human history, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of corporate negligence. On the evening of April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon was rocked by a catastrophic explosion. A surge of natural gas from the well shot up the riser, engulfing the platform in a fiery inferno. The explosion shook the rig violently, sending shockwaves across the water. 11 workers lost their lives that night, their families left to grapple with the sudden and senseless tragedy. The explosion marked the beginning of an environmental nightmare. Oil began gushing out of the wellhead a mile below the surface. It spewed uncontrollably for 87 agonizing days, releasing an estimated 4.9 million barrels of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico. The once pristine waters were quickly becoming choked with thick black crude. The Deepwater Horizon, once a symbol of human achievement, was now a chilling reminder of the potential for human error to have catastrophic consequences. The oil spill spread rapidly, forming a massive slick that stretched for miles across the Gulf's surface. It relentlessly encroached upon the fragile coastline, blackening beaches and coating marshes with toxic sludge. The environmental impact was devastating and far-reaching. Hundreds of thousands of birds, sea turtles, dolphins, and other marine life perished. The delicate ecosystems of the Gulf of Mexico, home to a rich tapestry of life, were thrown into disarray. The economic consequences were equally dire. The fishing and tourism industries, the lifeblood of coastal communities, were brought to their knees. The livelihoods of countless people were shattered, their futures shrouded in uncertainty. Section 4. Uncovering the Truth. BP's negligence and cost-cutting measures. As investigations into the disaster got underway, a disturbing picture began to emerge. It became appallingly clear that the explosion and subsequent oil spill were not a mere accident, but the result of a series of reckless decisions driven by a culture of prioritizing profit over safety. BP, the multinational oil and gas giant responsible for the Deepwater Horizon, was found to have repeatedly ignored warning signs and cut corners in the name of saving time and money. Internal documents revealed a blatant disregard for safety protocols and a willingness to accept undue risks. The evidence was damning, exposing a corporate culture that valued profits above all else, even at the expense of human life and the environment. Section 5. The aftermath, legal battles and industry reforms. The Deepwater Horizon disaster triggered a wave of outrage and demands for accountability. The US government launched a criminal investigation, leading to BP facing numerous lawsuits and criminal charges. The company ultimately pleaded guilty to 14 criminal charges, including manslaughter, and agreed to pay billions of dollars in fines and settlements. The disaster forced the oil and gas industry, particularly offshore drilling operations, to confront its shortcomings. New regulations and safety standards were implemented, aiming to prevent a similar catastrophe from happening again. The tragedy served as a stark reminder of the importance of stringent safety measures, corporate responsibility, and the need for robust oversight to protect both human life and the environment. Section 6. Scars on the water, long-term impacts and community resilience. More than a decade after the disaster, the Gulf of Mexico continues to bear the scars of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. While significant progress has been made in the cleanup efforts, the long-term ecological consequences are still unfolding. Scientists are working tirelessly to understand the full extent of the damage and the potential for long-term impacts on marine life and ecosystems. The Deepwater Horizon disaster served as a catalyst for change. It ignited a sense of urgency and spurred communities to demand greater environmental protection and corporate accountability. The fight is far from over, but the tragedy has left an indelible mark on the Gulf Coast, reminding us all of the delicate balance we must strive to maintain between human ambition and environmental stewardship. It is a lesson we can never afford to forget.